Good morning, everyone. Got your coffee? I've got mine. So, I don't know why I'm so jubilant this morning. I went to go start my car up this morning and it wouldn't start. If it ain't one thing, it's another. And this happened right when I decided that I'm getting ready to paint my house. So I just came back in the house and I just proceeded to continue to take things down off the walls, wall decor, and prep my house for painting because ain't nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. The situation is what it is. If it's not one thing, it's another. Soon as I decide to paint this whole house, then this is when Zora wants to act up. Zora is the name of my car. I name all my cars. The car before her name was Gemma. She was cute too, but they not real cute right now. So she's not real cute right now. So whatever, it is what it is. I ain't fixing to stress it. You know what I'm about to do? I'm about to thank some people. That's what I'm about to do. I want to say thank you so much to Regina. Regina, thank you so much for buying me a cup of coffee, honey. I appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to Vivica also for buying me a cup of coffee. And I want to say thank you to IGM for helping out with the library pantry. I also want to say thank you so much to 3 of my favorites I heard from. Correct. I love you so much, sis. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for always being so supportive of both me and the pantry. I really couldn't do it without you. And then Jericho. Hey, Jericho. I love you. I haven't bought a Captain in a long time, Jericho, but I've been looking at this black-owned company. Theirs obviously are a little pricier, but theirs are a lot nicer. So I've been thinking about, getting some caftans since, like I said, we kind of stuck here in America and it don't look like I'm packing up. It look like I'm settling in because, like I said, we're going to get this house painted and it's going to take me a long time to do it. And y'all, if excuse how messy this room gets because this is going to act as kind of a catch-all room. It is what it is. I got to do what I got to do. Because for one, I can't afford to hire painters. And for two, the last time I actually hired painters, they didn't do an actual good job. Not a job as good as I could have done had I just dug my feet in and just took my time. I'm actually a good painter. I've been painting my bedrooms in my houses since I was 14 years old. So, my kids' bedrooms growing up, I was always the one who designed those and painted them. So, I'm just going to do it myself. Yay me. And then I need to say thank you to Gilda. Gilda, thank you so much. I was just thinking about you the other day. I swear I was. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help with the library pantry. And again, just for all y'all support. Thank y'all. Just thank y'all so much. Just thank y'all. Y'all, you just don't understand. Thank you. What your support means and what it does and what it helps to accomplish. Thank you so much. I was scrolling through TikTok yesterday and I watched this TikTok of this white woman. I don't pay them too much attention. Well, lately I have because, honey, let me tell you what, I've been real entertained watching on TikTok. All these white women who have been finding their husbands' Tinder accounts. This ain't really what I want to talk about, but child, if you end up on that side of TikTok, this is the most entertaining shit ever. All these white women are finding their husbands' Tinder accounts and they're confronting them, child, with these Tinder accounts. Now, some of that shit is fake, but some of that shit is real because it's real feelings. And then you can tell by the way the men start gaslighting them and he instantly becoming angry. And it's they entertain themselves with our drama. But anyway, there was this white woman, right? And she said she went into a CVS. And in front of her in the line was a much older black gentleman, senior. And he wanted a receipt for his purchases. And they couldn't give him a receipt because the printer had run out of paper. And he was really, you know, he seemed to be having a lot of anxiety over the fact that he couldn't get a receipt. And so she said she stepped in and she asked him, was it something that she could help him with? And she said that this gentleman in turn told her, look, young lady. I mean, she wasn't all that young. She was right around my age, but compared to him, she was a young lady. So he said, look, young lady. He said, I grew up in a time where I'm a black man in America, and I grew up in a time where you do not leave a store without a receipt, because that could mean death for us. Well, you know, the white woman does what white women do. I don't never know if they're sincere or not. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so much of it is just so performative. And she goes to talk about systemic racism and how sorry she was that he had to experience this and felt this all his life, and you know, that kind of thing. I'm always leery about white people that do this kind of content. I really, really am. It just seems suspicious to me, you know, because like I said, they have so many problems and issues in their own community that they really could be addressing. And when they are addressing racism, I feel like they're pandering to black audiences and not to the white audiences and the white people who need to be hearing it. And so it comes off as performative to me. But anyway, she starts apologizing and everything. And that's another thing. Stop apologizing. You know, black people, what good does your apology do us? You know, excuse me. What good is an apology to me when I am a black person suffering from racism and the effects of racism? What the fuck good is an apology to black people? If you all are really sorry, excuse me, and you are really empathetic to what it is black people go through in this nation, why are you not in turn raising anti-racist children and teaching one another how to be anti-racist? Why are you not actively tearing down the walls of white supremacy that your ancestors built, to which you all still benefit from, and you know you do? Excuse me. Until y'all actively do that work, become anti-racist, tear down the walls and buildings and institutions that are beholden to white supremacy, all the apologies, they mean jack shit, at least to me. Maybe the sleeping Negroes, maybe it does something for them. I don't know. But I'm not a sleeping Negro. I'm wide awake. And I see the things that you do. And I hear the things that you say. And I see who you raise. Excuse me. I was always told growing up, even as a child of the 70s, I was always told, never leave the store without a bag, never leave the store without a receipt. That's just one of the things that black people are taught in this racist ass nation. Because yeah, when we do go outside without those things, we can be accused of theft. And the police can be called on us. And because white people have this history of lying on us all the time, you want to make sure you have that proof. And then when you get home, you toss it. You know, maybe nowadays you scan it in your Fetch app or, you know, whatever, but you toss it. But you make sure you get that receipt. I taught my own sons. I got 2 black boys I raised. I taught my own sons that. Get a receipt, proof of payment, so that they can't accuse you of anything. And she went on to say how she didn't even know that this was a thing with black people. And It's crazy how they don't understand their own privilege. And when you start talking about white privilege, they gaslight us and tell us that it doesn't exist. One, because they don't want to feel guilty. And two, because of their privilege. They know that there's someone who has to pay for that privilege, and it's us. And they are the ones that force that payment from us. Looking through the lens of whiteness is completely different from looking through the world through the lens of blackness. Looking through the world through the lens of blackness, we know that these are things that we have to do. These things that we don't even think about. Whenever I go to a store, I don't even think about it anymore. When someone says, "Do you want your receipt?" I say, "Yeah, absolutely." Without thinking about the why of it, because I've done it so long as a black person in America. But this is why we do it. Where white people have the privilege to say, "Nah, you keep that," and walk on out the store, because they are never accused of the crimes that we are accused of. No one ever lies on them. These are our lived experiences. So when we try to explain to them about what white privilege is and how they are the beneficiaries of it, and how it is we black people pay for it, we get gaslit. We get told our very own lived experiences are a lie, because if they don't experience it, then it must not be anything to experience. And of course they wouldn't experience it because they are white and they have privilege. And then they also deny it because they are the ones who are our accusers, who have historically been our accusers. There was a time when a white person, you could go as a black person, buy something from a white store. They could say you didn't pay for it. And then the next thing you know, you're hanging from a tree. These things happen. That trauma gets passed down to black people. And we in turn teach our children safety. And that was one of the ways that we taught our children to be safe. Always ask for a receipt. And it's amazing that in 2025, something like that is still so prevalent in our culture. Because the police still, and with impunity, unalive us for the smallest of infractions. Sometimes when we haven't even committed one. So you always want to get that receipt. You always want to have the receipts. When black people say, "I come bearing those receipts," it means a lot more than you think it does. It's deeper. There's a deeper meaning there. That is all that I have for today. If you would like to support this platform, the Library Pantry, or just buy me a cup of coffee, I will leave my Cash App and Venmo down in the comments. Y'all have a good day. Have a righteous day. Don't be nobody's problem today. Help other black people, because you can today.